Our song for today is Tonight is the Night by Betty Wright. The key verse is Tonight is the night that you make me a woman. Let's chat. Welcome. You are listening to the Me, She, and Her podcast, a guided conversation between three friends where we discuss business, leadership, relationship, and fitness based off song lyrics. We use our experiences, testimonies, and throw in a few jokes to bring you an entertaining view of lyrics from popular songs, old and new. Come listen in on the fun. Welcome back to the Me, She, and Her podcast, a guided conversation between three friends. The question for today is, what defines womanhood? Ladies, what defines womanhood? What makes you a woman?
That first day you get that drop of blood. You be like, hey, it's here.
Oh my goodness.
It's here. Yeah. Scientifically.
Scientifically,
Yeah.
that's when they consider you a woman.
Because they say you
Mother
can
Nature
conceive.
comes
Now
real.
You can conceive,
bear children,
multiply,
be fruitful,
And multiply.
Yes.
and multiply.
That's the scary part. So that
Yeah.
Lord
now you ain't
mercy.
mature enough, but
Sure, right.
physically,
Yeah.
scientifically, you've started into that realm. You've stepped into that next stage in life. I think there's different levels when you graduate high school, or you go to college and you come out of college at your first job. I think all of those things matter as you develop your womanhood. And like I think you said something earlier today, actually you said, hey, who I was at 21, 22 is not who I am now. And I think that's what I think there's stages in womanhood. Well, it has to be stages in
there are
womanhood.
stages, yeah.
So there are phases. That was petty.
Inside joke.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
We do these a lot. But there's stages of that woman, the development as a woman. There's confidence things, there's belief in yourself, and being unapologetic about things, speaking your mind, speaking your truth. Some people start a little earlier than others, but for the most part, most people walk into that area of life, 30s, mid-30s, whatever, headed to the 40s, and that it starts taking a form, I think, in your 20s.
Yeah.
In certain areas.
Right.
Maybe not everything, but in certain areas for sure.
Yeah, I think part of it is maturity.
Yeah.
Definitely.
And acceptance of responsibility.
Oh, God.
Because, there's a difference between the term I like to use, a woman and a female.
Yes.
So,
Yes.
a woman is mature, a woman is responsible, she take care of her responsibilities.
Yeah.
A woman is emotionally stable. She may not have it all completely together because nobody is perfect, but she's always working to improve herself. And then there's a female who just goes with the flow, who kind of is immature, who hasn't fully accepted responsibility, and not just responsibility in that for the course of your life.
Right.
That type of responsibility.
Right.
That I am the master of my ship.
Yep.
I determine where this goes. I'm not going to be dependent on this person, that person, or this or that. I'm moving it forward.
Yeah. Right.
I'm taking the initiative. I'm putting together the plan. I'm igniting the action.
Because you have the gas pedal to your life. I'm on a roll tonight. You are. Woo! Another inside joke.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my God.
Well, yeah.
But what? So
that's so true though.
So
Yeah, it's very
and I
true.
think, like you said, there's stages, there's level to womanhood. Who I was at 20, 25, even 30.
Yeah.
Even 35.
Yeah.
Shoot, even last year.
Yeah.
Even last week.
Who I was last year is not who I am now.
No.
And I think that is the
uniqueness of a woman, that is to me a divine quality that women elevate, that women evolve, and that we're always evolving.
Always.
Right.
Because in having conversations with my mom, who she was and the things she endured at 16, where, you know, she had to take care of her family, you know, she had to step out of school for a little while to care for her brothers and sisters, you know, while her mom was dealing with some medical stuff. So that part, and then who she was when she started having her own family. Yeah. And now who she is now as a grandmother. Different. Like, all that is different. But it's all phases of womanhood.
Yeah.
So it's almost like you see on Instagram where they do those photos of the generations.
Yeah.
So to me, that is a view of womanhood.
Yeah.
You start off in your teens, you develop in your 20s, then you get to your 30s, and you get to your 40s, then you get to the 50s, and now you're older, you're in your 60s, your 70s, you're evolved at womanhood.
Right.
To me, you're always growing, you're always developing, you haven't reached your peak, you haven't plateaued, you're always in the growth phase of being a woman, because your knowledge of self is constantly changing. And your ability is always changing.
Right.
And I think as women, because we were designed so uniquely, that when we are in certain relationships or when we are in certain things, that character of us, or let me say the qualities and traits that God has placed in us, are unique to that situation.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
So let's say, for like an example would be childbirth.
Yeah. I can see that being one.
Definitely.
Childbirth in itself is a miracle, but I don't think anybody else could do it outside of a woman.
No.
Oh, well,
Yeah.
No. The pain probably.
The pain
they already
assimilated.
That canceled them.
Right. Or carrying another human being, another entity inside of your body is a unique experience. I don't like when people get to the point where they define women based on if they had kids or not.
Yeah.
Right.
Or they defined you based on if you had a husband.
Right.
Or they defined you based on if you were this career, that career. I think all those stereotypes of what a real woman is are gone, and it's unique to each person.
Yeah. Right. Even when you're talking about childbirth, like, obviously, you know, Summer, I haven't had children yet, but so your experience going through womanhood is unique versus what our experience are. There's two different situations.
Right.
Like, in my head, and I watch, you know, shows like Call of the Midwife and all this other stuff, and I watch people give birth. I was there when you were having Aiden and being through that experience. But in my head, like, the concept of pushing the baby out, what is the concept of pushing?
Right.
Like, that concept in my mind is like foreign because I haven't experienced that. But from what I understand, once you get into that phase of your life, or that phase of carrying the child, supposedly your body knows what to do. So your body itself is changing and growing and shifting. When you go through pregnancy, from what I'm told, and you can confirm this because I don't know for sure, but you know, your body shifts and change to accommodate that extra life. And once you have that life, it has to shift again. So that even that is a growing and changing it, and you as a woman, and how that affected you and your hormones and all your health and everything else, and your thoughts at that point changed because it shifted off just being on you to being on you in this other life. At least it's supposed to.
It should.
Some of these women out here, these females out here,
and they ain't reached womanhood.
No.
Because womanhood is not selfish.
No.
My definition of womanhood is not selfish.
Right.
My definition of womanhood is you take full responsibility for you and yours. And that means your child that you birthed. You take responsibility for that.
And you don't blame others for, you know, your situation. You just take ownership of where you are in life.
You gotta do.
You woman up.
You do what you gotta do.
You do what you gotta do.
I want to shift in the context of this song where the verse where she's talking about, and tonight is the night that you make me a woman. Oh, my. I think a lot of people think that losing your virginity or having sex now
just about to say
defines you
as a woman.
Yeah.
It does not.
It does not.
does not.
I don't think that's key to you being a woman.
No.
Sex has nothing to do with it.
Nothing.
Well, I mean, even that, like, I didn't have sex until I was like 26 or something like that. So I wasn't supposed to be a woman up until that point. Like,
Right.
no, like I was growing and developing into who I am way before that point. There was a massive change and growth period between right when I got out of college and when I started business and doing some other stuff, where I just exploded in who I was.
Right.
And that was before I had intercourse. So yes, that some things did change after that because it went into a different phase of my life. But before that point, I was growing and developing about who I was personally.
Right.
And the confidence in who I was already before that thing happened.
Right.
So that's an experience you have in your life.
As a woman, it's
But
an
it's
experience,
not
but it doesn't define you as a woman.
Saying you are a woman now.
Right. So me being with a man doesn't define me.
Right.
Me having a husband or not doesn't define me.
Right.
And I think sometimes that is what people define a woman as. Or maybe even times where age restrictions are put on if you're a woman or not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They tell you, oh, well, you ain't even old enough to have known nothing. You still wet behind the ears.
Oh, I hate that.
What are you
does that
talking
even
about?
mean?
Right. You know what experience I had? You know how I've lived, what I've had to endure? No, you don't.
No.
So don't try and define my womanhood for me. My womanhood is defined by me.
It's by me, not by you.
Right. I tell you what makes me a woman.
Mm-hmm.
I tell you why I'm uniquely made. And I tell you my progress to womanhood.
Right. My journey.
And my actions.
Right.
that
And
will-
what it
will show
stands
you.
for.
Yep. Will show that maturity and show,
Exactly.
my own progression. And you have to take the agency upon yourself and say that, like you said, I think it does go back to personal responsibility. Like, you are responsible for the course of your life. If you believe the right things, that you believe that God is guiding you, but, he can't force you down a certain path.
No. And he's not.
And he's not going to.
That's
You
that
make
free
those
will,
choices to follow, his guidance from, praying or whatever. But that's, you make those choices. They're up to you to make. And your life can go one way or another based off the choices and stuff that you make. So I think we make different choices at different points in our lives
About different
things. So like, I think there's a lot of different factors. Like you said, there's, different levels to this, like we said before. But it's interesting, like even when we were growing up, like the society was one way, but the society, some of these girls are growing up in now has shifted.
Shifted, yes indeed.
They're growing up in this fully social media society. We didn't have some of those.
No.
Our bubble was, AOL, the dial-up, all that stuff. That was just happening when we were in high school.
Right. And you couldn't be on that line.
No. Yeah, we can get in trouble for being on the phone,
okay.
tying up the line for too long.
Yeah,
Like
exactly.
it wasn't, we only saw, called our friends on the phone or saw them at school. It wasn't like constant communication. So, their experience is going to be, is different now. And then what they have access to and what they see is different now. And that can shifting their perspective about what's going on. So I think, there's a lot of different factors different than our parents. Like,
So each
generation,
womanhood, the definition of womanhood changes.
Yeah.
For each generation. And it should be getting better.
Right.
The rights of women should be getting better with each generation.
Right.
The treatment of women should be getting better with each generation.
And we will hope the wisdom passed down to each generation helps that process happen also.
Right, and hoping that it is being passed, that people are passing it down.
Yeah.
Because, I ask y'all, like, you ain't got no home training? Your mom ain't teach you? You didn't get shown what in the world?
Yeah.
What is wrong? You tell me, ain't nobody taught you such and such? Are you for real?
No, they ain't for real.
That stuff you should be taught as a girl developing.
Yeah, how to wash your own body, like the stuff you need to know, like that should be taught and shared.
Come on,
like your personal hygiene. That's important. Like
all the women in your life nasty.
Right.
I'm confused.
Right, and nobody teach you nothing.
Yeah,
they didn't give you no pointers. They didn't tell you don't wear a white bra with a white shirt. No, ain't nobody taught you nothing.
We need to know.
Because develop in the next generation. That's part of developing them into womanhood.
Yeah, we got. Yeah.
You know, like you said, when you start your period, you know, I got sat down and taught. Like I was told the proper way to
Clean.
to handle this. What's gonna happen? What's changing? How your hormones gonna go like this?
Right.
Like that's information that was given to me by another woman in my life that I trusted and I loved, who passed that knowledge down to me. And little boy, my conversation gonna be a little different.
Right.
But it is knowledge and information that I have that I can share with other women that I come in contact, other girls that I come in contact with, because I think there is a point where you are a girl and then you transition into woman. And it's different for everyone, that stage, that age, or whatever, when it happens, because you still have some 50-year-old girls. You know,
say that again.
You know, you still have some people that they
never grew up.
Right, they never grew
matured.
up. They never matured. They never got fully activated into womanhood.
Right.
Because to me, womanhood is reserved. She's confident. She's secure in who she is. She don't have to fake it to make it.
Right.
You know, and what you get is what you get. And she okay with everybody not liking her. I'm not everybody's cup of tea.
Right.
And that's okay.
And that's that confidence. But at the end of the day, it's every woman's responsibility to define who she is, what she wants to project or portray out into the world, and then live in that and be secure in that. And that's security.
That's womanhood. Making sure that, you know, maturing and that you are
Security and maturity.
And taking responsibility.
And maturity. And taking responsibility for your action, for who you are, for what you do, for what you say,
and how you say it.
How you say it. Because one thing I hate to see is adult females fussing in the stove.
Oh, God. About anything. It don't matter what it is. I don't want to see it.
I don't want to see it.
Or hear it.
Right. So you got to know that you ain't got to be loud to be heard. That's another part of womanhood, is understanding your voice. And the impact that it has on the people in your life. And are you speaking life or death to them?
Right.
That's part of womanhood, is the power of the voice. Because as women, we have an impactful voice in the people that surround us, in our sphere of influence, whether it's in our household, whether it's on a job, or anywhere. Our voice is heard, and sometimes we may not feel like it's heard.
Right. But
our voice is always heard, because I know for me, I can say something and then somebody can repeat it back to me like, oh, I didn't think y'all was listening.
Right.
Oh, y'all was really listening.
Right.
Oh, shoot. Okay. So I am heard. Y'all are listening.
So you are listening.
You did hear. You do hear.
You do.
Okay. Okay. So now I have to be aware of what I say, and when I say it, how I say it, and to whom I say it to. That's part of womanhood. Monitoring my voice. Because like you say, using your power for good.
Right.
Because as women, we have a power that can reckon with. Look in your history books. Many wars were started because of a woman. So the woman has power. But how do you utilize your power? Do you use it for good, or do you use it for the demise of someone? Or something?
Are you trying to manipulate?
Because a good woman, a woman who understands her womanhood, who understands her voice, who understands she has to be mature, who understands she has to be spiritually stable, uses her platform and her voice to encourage the people around her, to make a difference in the lives of the people she can speak over. And that also can be translated to mothers or all that, but a woman voice I don't think we say it enough, but a woman's voice is powerful.
Right.
Even if society wants to lead us to believe that it's not. Because an example is, look how much Joe Biden has been talked about since he said his running mate is Harris. Look how much he now has been more talked about.
Right.
Because he has selected a woman.
Yep.
So define your womanhood. Take the time to define your womanhood, because I think it is a process. I think all of it is self-evaluation. That's key with me.
Yes,
I do a lot of self-evaluating of myself, because I'm always trying to be better, do better, show better, act better. And part of that is defining and analyzing myself and how I present myself in this world.
Right. It's also about self-care. Make sure you take care of yourself.
Yes.
If you got trauma, you might have to go get some help.
Yeah.
Right.
And don't be afraid to get
Don't be
some
afraid.
help.
There's nothing wrong with
That's
that.
part of womanhood.
Yeah.
That's part of womanhood.
Realizing you need help sometimes.
Responsibility.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, you need Jesus and a therapist.
You
Yeah.
need both.
So get you both.
Yeah.
You need them both. You need to pray and you need to talk to somebody.
Yes.
So get both. It's needed.
It's alright. You're alright.
Right. It's okay. Ain't nothing wrong with therapy. You need to talk to somebody. And you need to pray.
Yeah.
You know? So, you have to take the time out to really define who you are. Define your womanhood for yourself. That goes along with you setting boundaries of how people will treat you, how you react to certain things. It's just the core of who you are. And that core allows you to act and respond differently when you're met with trials and tribulations.
Right. Of such.
Right. So
And whatnot.
getting that core right of who you are as a woman activates you into womanhood,
Right.
to where now you are the best manifestation of yourself that you can be.
Okay.
There you go.
Okay.
Okay.
You know what I'm
Speak
saying?
on
I'm trying to
Okay.
encourage the
on it.
people. Encourage the people. So don't let social media, don't
Right.
let
Anything.
music, anything tell you that a woman is defined by what's between her legs. That's a lie.
That's a lie.
That's a lie.
Some of y'all trash.
Yeah.
Just kidding. Just kidding.
That's a lie. I know everybody out there telling me they got that WAP.
That's not.
But you better have some brains.
right to go with
You
that
better
walk.
know how to manage your money.
Right.
You better know how to encourage your kids and raise some strong men and women.
Right.
So cause that ain't what's gonna get you through life.
No.
Right.
You better learn. You better know how to say a prayer.
You
Right.
better know how to get on your knees and pray before the Father.
Before the Father.
So defining your definition of womanhood has nothing to do with what's between your legs. That makes you female. That don't make you a woman.
Ooh.
So you have to sit down and examine and evaluate who you are as a woman. And what
Man.
you will bring, how you will represent, and what your energy will be in this world.
Amen.
So we want to thank you all for tuning in to the Me, She, and Her podcast, a guided conversation between three friends. Like, share, subscribe,
Yes.
and we enjoyed chatting with you. Chat with you later.